and welcome to the Australian Olympic Changemaker virtual event. Hello Changemakers, or as they say in Tokyo, Chenji Maker. Olympic Changemakers, my name is Brooke Hanson. I'm a 2004 Olympian and gold and silver medalist in swimming. I am so excited to be back this year, celebrating our 2021 amazing Changemakers across the country. This is my third year being part of the program, and it continues to get bigger and better every year. We have Changemakers from all corners of the country joining us, and how amazing that no matter where you are right now, we are all here together, part of this incredible movement. To everyone at home, school or work tuning in, welcome. Congratulations to each of you who have been selected as this year's 2021 Australian Olympic Changemakers. This year we have over 900 students across Australia who have been recognised with this award, which identifies, inspires and brings together young Australians who are making a positive impact in their school or local community. Despite this challenging and strange few years, it is so inspiring to see more than ever young Aussies like yourselves making an extraordinary difference in your community. Joining us today, we are so thrilled to have with us Olympians who have just returned from Tokyo and have completed their 2 weeks of quarantine. Kyle Vanderkite, athletics, dual Olympian and Australia's greatest ever men's 110 metre hurdler. Kyle was in Tokyo in an athlete liaison role. Zach Stubblety-Cook, swimming, Tokyo gold medalist in the 200 metres breaststroke and bronze medalist in the mixed individual medley relay. Taliqua Clancy and Mariafe Artacho de Sola, Tokyo silver medalist in beach volleyball. Now, how are you viewing today? With your class, school, or at home? Take a quick photo and send it to us. Make sure you use the hashtag BeTheChange2021. That's hashtag BeTheChange2021 and tag @AusOlympicTeam. We have some Instagram stickers you can use by searching Changemaker if you're on Insta. To start the forum, I would like to introduce dual Olympian Kyle Vanderkite, who will deliver the Acknowledgement of Country.
Hi everyone, I'd like to begin by acknowledging the traditional custodians of the land in which we all meet on today. I'd also like to pay respects to elders both past and present. Also extend that respect to any Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander person here with us today in the meeting. Thank you.
Thank you, Carl, for that acknowledgement of country. I'd like to pay my respects to the land in which I stand and the land that you all are living and learning from today. We will hear from Kyle a little bit later about some of his highlights from Tokyo, but today we are all celebrating all of you and sharing some of the wonderful memories of the Tokyo Olympic Games, a games that many people thought should never or would never happen. The Tokyo Olympic Games showed the world what can be achieved when we all work together. Many of you throughout your Changemaker videos referred to the Olympic values: respect, excellence and friendship. 3 values that can be carried into all of our daily lives. We thought we would talk about these values today and what they mean to our Olympians. Our Olympians were extraordinary in Tokyo, and so too our Paralympians, who are inspiring the nation and the world right now with their achievements in Tokyo. One of our own Changemakers from 2020, Rhiannon Clark, is competing at the Games and finished 5th in the 100 metres. Congratulations, Rhiannon. What an amazing effort. We have been cheering you on and we wish you and the rest of the team all the best as the Paralympics come to an end. Just like the Tokyo Games have united the world, Changemaker brings together all of you from all corners of our country. From Bundaberg to Bunbury, from Katherine to King Island, you are all united as Olympic Changemakers. We have been blown away by what all of you are achieving in your schools and your local communities. And through your videos, we've seen virtual challenges, equality initiatives, coaching juniors, Zoom sports classes, fun runs and bike rides to raise money for charities, push-up challenges, coaching groups with language barriers, working with students to make sport inclusive for everyone by supporting people with disabilities in your programs. We've also seen programs connecting schools internationally, and many of you have got your friends, teachers, parents and siblings involved in inspirational sessions, event fundraisers and new programs never seen before. All of that is just a sample. Believe it or not, there is plenty more. Let's look at what you've been up to.
Hi, my name's Charlotte Byrne.
My name's Judith.
Jessie Wong.
Matthew Strum.
Mariafe, and I'm an Olympic change maker.
Being a leader to me is being the voice that inspires, the voice that encourages, and the voice that supports.
Sports is inclusive and much greater than the spotlight. It's about making a difference with your talent.
You can be the reason someone is inspired to power to change, and that's exactly what I wish to do.
Nothing is impossible if you use your own power to change.
I am particularly supportive of making changes to the way in which girls are characterised in the sporting sphere, and I'm a strong advocate for gender equality.
I believe that it's really important to encourage kids to play sports. It's a good way to increase positive mental health.
I've helped to drive social change by promoting inclusivity and diversity.
To build a network in which anyone is welcome.
With the news of the Queensland Olympics, these are exciting times to be an Olympic change maker.
I am grateful for the athletes who have inspired me, and I hope that I can continue their legacy as I strive for 2032.
I believe this new positive mindset has begun to power the change in athletes of the wider community.
So my goal as an Olympic change maker is to get kids off the Xbox and onto the track.
And during last year's COVID-19 lockdown, my father and I organised 8 free virtual fun runs.
I volunteered my time as an athletics and AFL coach at my school.
I feel that I am someone that my teammates could come and talk to with anything regarding their physical, mental or social health.
It's through a million small acts like this that I believe we can change the world.
And stand up and make a change.
Change makers shake the world.
How amazing was that? You give us all so much hope for the future, and it was fantastic to see what you've been up to. Congratulations to each and every one of you. Stand tall and be proud. You are already powering the change and making a difference. All of us Olympians and Australian Olympic Committee staff who have watched your videos were inspired by your work, efforts and achievements. Continue to be the change, and thank you for the incredible effort you all make every day. Well, it's been a long road to Tokyo and back home again, but I'm sure you'll agree it was worth it. Tokyo 2020 was an extraordinary Games. 486 team members, 53.7% female, 16 Indigenous athletes, 46 medals, 17 of them gold. The Australian swim team really made some waves in the pool this year. I'm really excited and looking forward to talking to Stubblety-Cook today about the Olympic value excellence and what it took to win Olympic gold whilst balancing studies, work, training and social life and getting excellence out of all areas of his life. In the International Olympic Committee manual, the meaning of excellence is doing the best we can on the field of play or in our professional and personal life. The important thing is not winning, but taking part, making progress, and enjoying the healthy combination of body, will, and mind. I'm excited that fellow swimmer and breaststroker, the Beststroke, has joined us in the Gold Coast studio. And let's give him a warm change makers welcome to Olympic gold and bronze medalist Stubblety-Cook. Zach, thank you so much for joining us today. Has it sunk in?
No, it's still pretty surreal. I think I don't think it's sunk in, and having a bit of time away now from the pool is making me want to get back in, but it's starting to sink in slowly.
You've brought the gold and bronze medals with you. You've got to definitely hold them up, show that gold first of all, and now the bronze to our change makers. They're heavy. What do those medals weigh? Have you weighed them yet?
Yeah, so we actually weighed them in the village. We got a chance to weigh them because I actually had coffee scales in the village, and they weigh about 560 grams, so about half a bag of flour. For like reference at home, like everyone goes 560. It's not like too heavy, but yeah, it is quite heavy when you have two of them, and well, Emma has 11, so you know, it's a few.
Did you ever think in your wildest dreams when you were heading to Tokyo, going to your first Olympics, that you'd return with an individual Olympic gold medal?
No. It is a very honest answer, no. I thought it'd be nice. I was just excited to be an Olympian. I was excited to achieve that dream and excited to prove to myself that I was able to achieve something, and to me that was enough. And I was just excited to race, and I was excited to do my best on the day, and that's what it was about. And for me, I was lucky enough to come away with the gold, but you know, I was just excited to be there.
I always say that luck has nothing to do with it. You've got to make your own luck. I want to talk to you today about excellence and how you get the best out of yourself with being an elite athlete, an elite swimmer, going to your first Olympics, studying, working, social life. Like, how are you able to be excellent at all of those things to achieve success?
I guess for me, it's about being a person before an athlete. So for me, it's more about getting the best out of myself by living a balanced life. So for me, it is about having all those things and having lots of different pieces and lots of different pieces to the puzzle to keep myself busy outside of the pool. Because for me, if I threw everything at the pool, it would be an absolute detriment. But for me, that's my personality as well, is the pursuit of excellence and the pursuit of the best out of myself. And I'm very understanding of what I think I can achieve and what I think I'm capable of. And for me, that's what swimming's about, and I'm lucky enough to have something like that to actually kind of express myself and express my edge, if you will, in that sport of swimming. So.
I love that, express your edge. The edge for you is now you're an Olympic champion, Olympic gold medalist for the rest of your life. But I really like those messages for the change makers of you not just putting it all in one basket, and it's that balance that has really helped you achieve excellence in sport. But tell us, what are you studying at university? And of course you're working for the Australian Olympic Committee as well. So tell our change makers everything else that you're up to.
Yeah, so I study at uni, a Bachelor of Business and Psychological Science, and then I'm working as well part-time at the Australian Olympic Committee with the Olympics Unleashed program, and a bit of this and a bit of that. And then on top of that, yeah, obviously training and swimming, and then have a partner and family and friends. So yeah, like swimming's a full-time gig. It's been like up to 35 hours a week, and then 15 hours a week of work, and then up to 20 hours a week of uni on top of that. So trying to balance that definitely keeps me busy, but it's the busyness that keeps me not distracted as well, I think, and keeps me focused on task to task, is something I'm really a big believer of.
So time management, is that one of your things with excellence that you strive for every day, of being able to balance it all out?
Yeah, absolutely. I was lucky that I had a few mentors tell me a few analogies of, like, you know, you have your bucket and you fill it with the big rocks, so the big things first, and then you have your bucket and then you go, is it full? It looks full, but then you add your little pebbles, so your time for friends and families, like a coffee or those kind of things, and then you think your bucket's full, and then you can fill it with sand. So all those other little bits and pieces that you think you can't get done in the day because it's full, but then you can then pour water over that sand, and it all of a sudden becomes compressed again, and then you've got more time. So it's like, for me, it's about getting structure, getting the big things, and then slowly building in those little things as well. I
love that. What a great tip. I hope you've all written that down. Amazing to be with our Olympic champion, the 200 metres breaststroke. I'm a breaststroker. I was so nervous for you heading into that Olympic final. I know your race plan. I don't think the rest of the nation knew your race plan. You were the youngest in that Olympic final, and just take us through it, because you did say to the commentators, you know, did I make it entertaining enough for you? Yes, you did. But meanwhile, even with myself knowing that your back end speed was so good, I was still on the edge of my couch going, come on, you can do it. That was always your plan, but how do you execute that plan at the biggest sporting event in the world with that much nerves under that much pressure?
Yeah, I think, like, for me, I went in with the mentality, first of all, of like, one is enough. So I wasn't thinking about anyone else or anything, which seems selfish, but I know you could probably attest to it. But at that level, one is more than enough. Like 5 years of work for two and a bit minutes of, like, that's it, you know, that's your opportunity. So for me, I always went in with the mentality of one is enough. And for me, that was what the theme of that was, and it was then being myself and getting the best out of myself in that regard. So for me, I mean, looking back at it, I think I was a little further behind than I wanted to be. Like, I remember watching it. I hadn't watched it, and then I watched it on Sunrise right before my interview, and I was like, oh my God, I'm so nervous now. Like, I was so far behind. But looking back, I'm definitely glad I stuck to my race plan and didn't follow the guys out, and stuck to what was my strengths, and knew that was going to get the best out of myself. And yeah, like, I guess that's the message to take home, is like, stick to yourself and know your strengths and enjoy it, because like, for me, that's something else that I think a lot of people got caught up in. It was like, you just need to take a step back and go. For me, it was like, well, it's just swimming. Like, it's not life or death, you know? It's like, it's not the end of the world if you don't perform. I was thoroughly just there to enjoy myself, and as I said at the beginning, like, I was happy enough just to become an Olympian, let alone like win.
Now, I've got some questions here from our change makers. Thanks so much, change makers, for getting these in early for Zach. First question is, why did you choose your sport? Why did you choose the sport of swimming?
I think it kind of chose me. I was very good at it when I was a lot younger, and I think that was the natural progression. I was quite good at it and enjoyed it. Like, Friday night club night was where I started, and always wanted to beat my friends and be in that last race and like be in the last heat, if you will. So I was always excited by that prospect of almost the social side of it, you know. So I enjoyed the sport of swimming, and I enjoyed challenging myself. So yeah, that's kind of how I chose it. And if you want stroke, it's like, you know, this like, breaststrokers are born, not made. So like, we're just a weird bunch that enjoy a weird stroke, but yeah, so.
And a piece of advice for change makers on being the change in their world?
Enjoy the journey, I think, is the best thing. Enjoy the ups and downs, because without the downs, you won't have the good times. So for me, I think I wish I heard that earlier, and I guess if someone told me this, well, Deli, the photographer for the team, wrote a nice piece for me and said, Anthony Bourdain quote, and it was like, the journey is meant to change you, enjoy it, and you should leave something behind also. Like, the idea of like letting the journey change you and enjoying that ride, but also like leaving something positive behind as well. Like, try and be positive throughout your whole life.
I like that, having purpose, positivity, and giving back, like so many of our change makers are when they're doing challenges for charities and really leaving a legacy. Our theme for 2021 Changemakers was powering the change. And one thing we know for sure is that you're all doing exactly that. Okay, ready to be inspired? Let's see some more of what you've been up to.
Guten Tag, konnichiwa, ni hao. My name is Dominic.
Sophie Walters.
I'm Adam Chin.
I'm Abigail Sauce.
I am Amy Kerr, and I am an Olympic changemaker.
Not even a month ago, a small, actually big kind of change was made to the Olympic motto. Faster, higher, stronger, together.
To me, sport is a means of connection. Change cannot come from one person, but occurs when we connect with each other and work together to create change.
You don't have to be an Olympian to be an inspiration. Just be you.
With commitment and passion, you too can power the change.
My perspective of change would be to get off your screen and to be a team.
I've become a role model to my school community through my continuous participation in virtually any sport I can get my hands on.
I've used sport as a platform to improve mental health within my school and the wider community.
I've tried to power the change and improve the health and mental well-being of my friends and teammates by remaining connected.
We started Zoom sporting classes. It's my goal to just make sure as many girls participate in as many ways as possible.
I feel it is important to give back to the community that has given so much to me.
I believe anyone with the right attitude and determination can make a change in the world of sport.
I can only hope that I will be one of those athletes representing my country at the Brisbane 2033 Olympic Games.
I feel as though the National Forum was made for me, and it can help me express my wonder and ideas and passion for the Olympic Games.
I realised that many big things start with small changes.
And you better believe I'll
will be there every step of the way, because empowering the change changes everything.
Wow, how good. I get emotional watching that. We wanted to show all of you, but there just isn't enough time. We have loved watching each and every one of your videos. Thank you for your huge effort to create those videos. Looks like we have some film directors and script writers out there. Keep up the great work, and thanks again for visually showing us the power of change. Now joining us again from Melbourne is dual Olympian and Australia's greatest ever men's 110 metre hurdler, Kyle Vanderkite. Kyle is also a member of the AOC's Indigenous Advisory Committee and played a key role as an athlete liaison in Tokyo. Today, with Kyle, we want to look at respect. The International Olympic Committee definition includes respect for yourself and your body, for other people, for rules, for sport, and for the environment. This year, the Australian Olympic Committee launched their first ever Reflect Reconciliation Action Plan, also known as the RAP. The RAP continues our journey of recognising the heritage, culture, and history of First Nations people. As part of this plan, a commitment was made under the pillar of respect. A commitment by the AOC to explore opportunities to incorporate Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander arts, cultures, languages, and histories as part of the Olympic teams and athlete experience. Welcome back, Kyle. I'm looking forward to you sharing your stories and experiences supporting the Tokyo team in the village and some of the great initiatives from the Australian Olympic Committee demonstrating respect for First Nations peoples. Kyle, you're a key figure in bringing the plan to fruition in Tokyo. It's an Olympic Games that you must have just been so proud of.
Oh yeah, I certainly was, to walk into the village and just see, I suppose, all the hard work that we'd put in with the Indigenous Advisory Committee, see the artwork up, see the village set up. It was probably one of the best villages I've ever seen.
I'd love to hear some of your highlights from Tokyo, and especially the Athletes Village. I'm sure there's plenty of highlights, but can you tell me maybe one or two of them?
I think seeing the athletes come in, we did a lot of the briefings for each of the teams, and for me, I was a part of that, and I was thrown in to sort of say a few words, but to meet Australians and say, look, congratulations on becoming Olympians, and also just say to them, look, you're representing Australia, you know, do that proud, but also you're representing a country that's got the oldest living culture in the world. That was something that I really was a highlight for me to do, and it was well received by athletes as well.
And tell us, could you feel that the Olympic athletes, our athletes, embracing the reconciliation during your experiences over in the village and at the Tokyo Games?
Yeah, that was overwhelming, the support I received, and just the engagement that I had over there. There was a cultural hub that I was part of, and we had the map of all the Indigenous language groups up, and the amount of athletes, coaches and managers that came by and just had a chat, engaged with the map. They all put a pin on where they grew up or where they train or where they live. So it was a constant that I had people coming up to the map and just asking questions, being interested in the history, the culture, something that blew me away. I was so surprised that, you know, there was that much interest, and it showed me that our young Olympians, our young Australians are really embracing the culture, and they're proud as well of the history that we have in Australia.
Yeah, definitely proud and wonderful to hear that. And the map, respect, it's an Olympic value. What does respect mean to you personally?
Oh, respect is, it's such an important word. I mean, for Indigenous people, it's, you know, we want to share our culture. We want everyone to feel that they're a part of it. So that was one of the messages that I delivered to the athletes, was that, you know, you're representing Australia, but you're also representing a country that's got the oldest living culture in the world. So be proud of it. You know, my culture is your culture. So it and athletes really took that on. I think they showed the respect. and yeah, just respecting our rich history that we have. It's not something to be nervous about it, but something to embrace and be proud of. And I think I've seen so many of the athletes embrace our Aboriginal and Torres Strait flags that were up there in the village. It wasn't just the Indigenous Olympians that embraced the flags; all Australians did. So that was something that made me feel really proud, and yeah, just really hit that respect.
Wonderful stuff. Now, the AOC, it's incorporated Aboriginals, Torres Strait Islander art, cultural, language, history as part of the athlete experience. You've told us about the paintings and the drawings and everything stuck up in the village. Can you give us a few more examples about athletes' experiences over in Tokyo?
Yeah, I think it was the first Olympics ever for Australia that we had Indigenous artwork up, very proudly in the village. So it was not hard to miss, but to have athletes come and comment on it and feel, so proud to see it. Highlight for me was probably Paddy Mills coming up to me and saying, "Kyle, I would go through 10 hours of travel just to be in a village like this," and that sort of hit it on the head. And another highlight was the skateboarders that were representing Australia for the first time at the Olympics. They said, "Well, we want to wear the Indigenous shirt." They didn't have an official uniform, but they said, "No, we're going to put the Indigenous shirt on and compete in that." And these were moments that just you didn't plan for, but they just came up, and that really gave me such a lot of pride to see Aussies embrace the culture so much.
I love that, just so much pride and embracing that culture. Now, Paddy Mills, he's a fan of our change makers as well as the Aussie public. Seeing him carry the flag into the opening ceremony really made our country feel like we are all making change and being part of that together. How did you see it?
Oh, it was a proud moment to see Paddy carry the flag. I mean, as a proud Torres Strait man, proud Aboriginal man, it was a big moment for Indigenous Australians. But I think Australia all were proud to see Paddy do that role. And there was a number of firsts at Tokyo. There was the athlete's oath that was read out, and I had the privilege of doing that in the village. We had our own little opening ceremony, and I read the oath out, and the oath has got an acknowledgement of country now. So that was great to read out. There was 16 Indigenous Olympians, so that was the biggest number ever. So that was a first. As I said, the cultural artwork and the cultural hub was the first time ever. So it was a village full of firsts, and maybe the first time a barista as well was there. So the coffee spot was a real highlight to see athletes mingle in the mornings and get their daily hit of coffee. But that was another highlight.
Well, it's so important to have a hub like that where you bring people together, you can share stories and celebrate the success of the team together. That must have meant a lot to you just to see people coming together and communicating in that way?
Yeah, it was. I mean, for me, it was such a good experience to be on the other side of the fence. So being an athlete years ago, it's 21 years since I've been in an Olympic village. So I enjoyed being in that Olympian services role. I had day-to-day contact with athletes. I did some mentoring. I did some support with the boomers. I did clothing swaps with my other team members, and I just enjoyed that engagement with athletes. And it was nice to see the big teams come in, but it was also nice to see some of the smaller teams and make sure that everyone was connecting and everyone had a chance to meet each other, because it was a different Olympics than normal with the COVID restrictions. So I think it made our village even more a space to embrace and engage and connect with everyone. So we had TVs that had the Olympics on every day, and everyone gathered around and sat in the deck chairs, and that was a real highlight to walk outside and just see everyone sitting together and cheering someone on. Maybe a sport that they'd never seen before, but Aussies just did it in typical style and just were proud to see anyone get out there and compete. So that was nice to see, because that's sort of that typical Aussie spirit.
And that's what it's all about. You must have been proud with 16 Indigenous Olympians over there. That takes the total now for for our team to 60. That's just so great, especially now that we're aiming to get even more athletes aiming for 2032.
Oh yeah, it was great, and I had a chance to meet every one of the 16. So some I knew, but some were new faces to me. So, you know, there was different sports as well this year. So there was we had an Indigenous shooter, we had boxing, we had hockey, we had track and field, we had basketball. We had sports that you might not have seen an Indigenous person in before. So that was amazing just to meet them. I wrote them all a little card and gave them a little gift just to say, hey, good luck and I'm proud of you. So that was a nice moment to be able to meet them personally. And some of them actually won medals. So that was amazing as well.
Oh, awesome stuff. Well, it's so great that you've joined us today. Before I let you go, I've got to ask you, what does being a change maker and empowering the power to change mean to you?
I mean, I think change maker to me, it should really send the message out there to everyone, and especially our younger generation, that you've all got the power to change, and you've got to go and set your mind on something and set a goal, but also look at the values that you're going to take along with you. Those values are all about what we've talked about today, having respect, being driven and being passionate, being determined, to set your goals, and also put a good team of people around you. So, when you're thinking of changing something and making change out there, you need to, have that set of values, but also have the right people around you. So I wish everyone the best out there, and, keep working through with whatever you're setting your mind for, and setting your goals out there for, because you can achieve it. I've proven it with my career, and hopefully the Olympics has inspired people to get out there and set some big dreams for themselves.
Thanks so much, legend. It's so good to hear from you today. Continue the great work, Carl, and thanks for your time with our 900 plus 2021 change makers today.
Thank you, Brooke.
So many wonderful moments in Tokyo. Let's take a look at them in this highlights package.
Traveling in a fried out combi, hippie trail head full of zombie. I met a strange lady, she made me nervous. She took me in and gave me breakfast. She said, do you come from a land down under? Women glow and men plunder. Can't you hear the thunder? You better run, you better take cover. Buying bread from a man in Brussels. He was 6'4" and full of muscle. I said, do you speak my language, brother? He just smiled and gave me a Vegemite sandwich, and he said, I come from a land down under. The rivers flow, the men each under. Can't you hear the thunder? You better run, you better take cover. Lying in a den in Bombay, with a slack jaw and not a lot to say. I said to the man, are you trying to tempt me? Because I come from the land of plenty. He said, oh, do you come from a land down under? Oh yeah, yeah, where women glow and men plunder. Can't you hear the thunder? better take cover. We are living in a land down under. Where women glow, men they plunder. Can't you hear the thunder? You better run, you better take cover.
Once an Olympian, always an Olympian.
Once an Olympian, always an Olympian.
Fabulous moments of such a fantastic Olympic Games for our Aussie team. Well, 21 years ago, before our 2021 changemakers were even born, but I'm sure your teachers and parents will remember, fans on a packed Bondi Beach witnessed Aussie women Nat Cook and Kerry Podast win Olympic gold in women's beach volleyball. But since that day, Australia has not stepped foot on the podium again. Our next guests set out to change this stat, and in Tokyo, they did just that. Today, these Olympic silver medalists will talk to us about the Olympic value of friendship. Taking a look at the International Olympic Committee definition, friendship is at the heart of the Olympic movement. It encourages us to see sport as an instrument for mutual understanding between individuals and between people all over the world. Great to have the girls with me today. Please welcome beach volleyball Olympic silver medalists Taliqua Clancy and Mariafe Artacho de Sola. Congratulations, our silver medalist. It's so good to have you here. Are you still buzzing?
Yeah, I guess it hasn't really worn off. We actually got the chance to celebrate on Friday with our team, which was nice. A bit delayed, but we got there. Yeah, it was super fun, and yeah, I think it'll take a while before we we move on, I guess.
You're both holding the Olympic silver medals. I want you to hold them up for the change makers. Wow. Did you ever think that you would be Olympic medalists?
Yeah, I think we always knew. I think as soon as we became a partnership at the after or just before Com Games, we felt that special, like we had something special. So instantly we knew and could see that, like, okay, we're going to go all the way. And for us, it just really just feels like the beginning too. You know, Paris is only 3 years away, and you know, I think that's when we can change this to a shiny gold.
What was it when you talk about something special? Because I want to discuss with you girls today the importance of the Olympic value friendship. But what was that special thing that just made you a great team, but connected you as two female athletes?
I think just on court, you know, it's so easy to connect and read each other and feel each other and be able to do all these plays that you're not actually able to do with anyone that you team up with. And that's obviously really special in a team. And just, you know, on and off the court as well, we know each other so well, and we know how we're feeling, how we are. You know, if one of us is not having a good day, we straight away know. And that's the beauty that, you know, one of us is there to have the others back. And yeah, it's really hard to put into words because it's like a feeling. You just connect. It's just special. It's unique, and it just makes the whole journey so much fun.
So much fun and so much easier when you get to share it with a friend.
Yeah. Oh, 100%. You know, beach volleyball is a very special sport because we actually spend so much time on the road together. So people don't really know that sometimes we spend more time with each other than we do with our family and friends. So yeah, we have that really great respect. We know when each other are feeling up or down, and we just, you know, really just take care of each other and look after each other, and that's really important.
We've had so many questions come through from our change makers today, but before I get into them, I just want you to take us through that journey leading into Tokyo. Went from the formation of your friendship and connecting together as teammates. Just take us through that journey to standing on the podium.
So yeah, we actually, how long have we known each other? So we probably met like when we were 15, 14. Yeah, so we've known each other for a really, really long time. So that's probably when we first met, and we were able to actually play our World Juniors. Yeah, 2012 we played a World Juniors where we picked up a bronze. So I think that probably was the first sign that we had something special. But from that moment, we actually went different ways. We're both in the national team, but we were in different partnerships. And so this was actually our second Olympic. So Mariafe went with Nikki and I went with a girl named Lou. And so we both had very different journeys. But I think because of that, those different journeys, I think that's when we teamed up in 2018 was how we got that good special, like good respect of each other's journeys. And then as soon as we stepped on the court, it just went from strength to strength, really. I don't think there is an event that we're not getting medals in, to sound really arrogant. So yeah, that kind of really started our journey. But really quick after we partnered up, we played Com Games. So it was like 3 months. Yeah, straight away, we're straight into a big tournament, and we picked up a silver medal there. So I think from then on, it just kind of like just kept rolling, and very fortunate enough that it kept rolling all the way up until Tokyo.
What I love about beach volleyball, and so many of our change makers love it as well, is just that you can see the friendship, and you can see that with other teams. Like of course, you're supporting each other, whether you win the point or you don't win the point. You're supporting each other as a team, but then afterwards, you've got this connection and the hugs with the players that may have beaten you or you've beaten them. Tell us about that international connection of friendship.
Yeah, so I don't think, also another part of beach volleyball that they don't see is we actually play on a world tour. So all the girls that we're competing with, we see each other again, like monthly basis, week by week. We're constantly playing with each other. So we do have that really great respect for each other. So it is, yeah. So people have always asked me, they're like, don't you guys why do you guys always high five in between points? We couldn't do it so much in COVID. So usually we'd be going under the net and high fiving each other. And people are always like, why do you do that? Like you're competing against them. But we all know each other so well. We have such great respect for each other. So, and we all know the journey and all the hard work and the sacrifices that we had to put in to get to that point. So, yeah, I think that's why we also have some really great friendships with some of the people that we're competing against.
And then friendship, you celebrated with the team. So it's not just between the two of you, it's your entire team. How was that feeling?
Yeah, it takes a village. It's not just out. It might just be out there, us on court, but behind us there's a huge team. We've got our coaches and our families, and it is important to all come together and celebrate those times because, we take so much time, for that training and working hard that it is fun to just bring it all together and enjoy those times.
Lockdown, how did you survive lockdown? Coming back and going straight into the 14 days of quarantine, and I guess really realising what the rest of the nation had been doing whilst cheering you on. Was that hard on both of you?
Yeah, it was difficult. I think this was our second quarantine. We did one in March, like after we came back from a tournament in Mexico. So I think that one was harder because it was literally like I'm still preparing for the Olympics. So this one was kind of nice to like relax a little bit, but it was still. It's odd, you want to still that time where you didn't get to hug your family, and you hear of how great it was and how much of an impact it had back home, especially with everybody else when they were in lockdown. So I feel so lucky for what we're able to still be able to do, but it still feels weird, right? It's weird.
It kind of feels like it's been a while, like ages, but then...
It's like a freeze of time.
Yeah. And we've got so many of our change makers coming from all across the country. Of course, some of them still in lockdown, some of them still homeschooling. What advice would you both have for them as change makers who are powering the change within their communities and within schools? A lot of them are running Zoom online sessions. It's been pretty incredible, but what would your piece of advice for our 2021 change makers be?
I'd say stay really positive and really just focus on what you can control. Obviously for us, when the lockdown first started, we had to train and be creative from home. So, we built a little garage gym, or we were able to do stuff from home. And yeah, just kind of those moments, stay really positive and focus on what you can control, really.
Great answer. Some questions from our change makers. First of all, how do you continue to spike the ball when it hurts so much?
What part hurts?
Does that mean they're not doing it properly?
Yeah, maybe if you're contacting on your wrist, then probably, but you're meant to contact on your whole hand. We want to hit it as hard as we can, so it's probably the opposite.
I think spiking is by far the best skill, so yeah, that's our favourite.
And why did you choose the sport of beach volleyball?
Oh, I loved it. For me, it was like love at first sight. I first played it in a social tournament in Manly, like a four-a-side, with my brother and his mates, and I thought it was so fun. And you know, you're at the beach, the culture is great, and that's when I fell in love with it. And of course, when I got to travel the world doing it, I was like, yep, this is cool. You get to travel the world playing beach volleyball. I mean, doesn't get much better than that.
Living the dream.
Yeah. Mine was probably the complete opposite. I played indoor volleyball first. That's a pretty common pathway through Australia. So I started in high school. I loved any sport I played, so it wasn't hard for me to fall in love with volleyball, but beach volleyball definitely wasn't love at first time for me. I hated it. Like, I couldn't move in the sand. I couldn't do anything. Like, I'm a country girl. Like, I didn't grow up running around in the sand. So, but it quickly turned into love because, like Mariafe said, we get to travel the world. You have that special bond in the partnership, like no subs. So, you know, you gotta stick it out and you gotta work it out. And I really love that challenge of our sport.
And now the next one. What's your driving force behind doing your best? I like that one. Thanks, Changemakers.
Wow. That's a
your
good one. Your
driving force behind doing your best.
For me, one of my main, my motivation is to be better than I was yesterday. My own competition is myself, and I love learning and I love improving, and that's my motivation. I always just love being better than I was yesterday. Like, in every way, like on and off the court, I love being. I love just trying to be the best version of myself, and that is what drives me. You know, I want to be a good person before I'm a good volleyball player, because being a good person for me makes me a good player, and that's what, you know, makes me happy.
Great response. I love that. I love it. And any point that you wanted to give up, or you didn't think that you could continue on?
Yeah, it's definitely, you know, there's been difficult times throughout the journey. I think we've all had it, especially when COVID hit. So, yeah, there's definitely hard times for sure, and I had to fight, but I'm just so grateful, you know, when you're in team sports, you can all help each other and lift each other up, and otherwise I wouldn't be standing here if I didn't have the village behind us supporting us constantly.
What inspires both of you?
Oh, what inspires me?
Gosh, so much.
Yeah.
I think just for me, very simple, is family. You know, they've given me countless support, and you know, everything I do, and this medal for us just doesn't represent what we did. It represents, It represents like all the hard work my family have put in and given up for me. So, yeah, they inspire me and they help me so much.
Family first for so many of our change makers as well, the family support they have behind them. And we've seen some of our change makers even participating with their parents and siblings in fundraising and different events, which is so special. What about a negative headspace? If you're doubting yourself, if you're doubting your game, if you fall behind in a game, how do you recenter and refocus yourself? Another great question.
Yeah, I think, you know, to first accept it, because it's completely fine. It's okay to feel that way. We're all humans and we go through that. So, you know, to know that is okay, and then try and focus on the positives from that. So, you know, we all go through moments where we doubt ourselves, and, you know, it's completely normal, but again, focusing on the things that we can control. So we can control our effort, we can control our mindset, we can control our attitude, and how, you know, we prepare and what we do. So as long as you're doing your best, that's all we can ask for. Not getting too caught up on the outcome, because that's something you can't control, or the expectations. So just making sure that your effort and your attitude is the best you can do. That's all you can ask yourself.
I love that, controlling the controllables and being the best that you can be. So tell me, what's the best thing about being an Olympian and an Olympic silver medalist?
There's so many great things about
it's so hard.
It's, of course, wearing the green and gold. It's such an honour and something we work so hard for, and to be able to represent, you know, ourselves, our families, our country, it's just, it's a super special moment. And, you know, to be able to represent that in such a big stage, it means a lot to us.
Yeah, for sure.
So has that Olympic silver, has that empowered you to continue to strive for the Olympic dream, the possibility of Olympic gold in the future as well?
100%. Like, even before we We already knew. We've already spoke about it so many times. We know. We're hoping we can go till 2032, so it doesn't just stop here, you know. It doesn't. This is only the beginning for us, and we know that we have more great success to come.
I love that. 2032 is the long-term goal. So in between, of course, we've got Paris and we've got LA. LA was huge back in 1984, so to take the games back to LA, but to have it in Brisbane, you girls training in Brisbane, what does that mean to have a home games?
Yeah, this is like home for me. Like, I'm a Queenslander, so this is home. So yeah, it'll be just, it means everything. I think home Olympics is special, and we can really share it with everybody in Australia. So yeah, it's going to be huge, and I hope that it really encourages everybody to go out and just participate and be active.
Yeah, have a go.
So good, so much fun to have you girls with us today, Olympic silver medalists in beach volleyball, and of course change makers in every way. So thank you so much for joining our forum. And if you've got some words of advice straight down the screen to our change makers who are powering change throughout the nation.
Be you, be yourself, always make sure you're a good person first, and always do it with a smile on your face.
Yeah, for me, it's always just enjoy your journey and make it your own. Don't ever let anybody tell you can't do something, and also just have fun.
Thanks, ladies. All the best with everything.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you for joining us. Let's give our 2021 Changemakers a huge round of applause. We encourage you to continue to be leaders and share with the world what you are doing and celebrate the amazing things you are doing. Join the Changemakers alumni group on Facebook. Use the hashtag #BeTheChange2021 and tag @AusOlympicTeam. This year has gone so fast, and in no time we will be sending our Australian Winter Olympians competing at the Olympic Games in Beijing. Bring it on. I can't wait to get behind our team starting on the 4th of February. Thank you for joining today and celebrating the 2021 Changemakers. Congratulations on all the work you are doing and for the effort you've made into producing your videos. Thank you for joining us today and continuing to strive to be the best that you can be. And for many of you aiming for 2032, good luck. Believe in your goals and believe in your dreams. The Olympic Changemaker program is very special to the AOC and our Olympians. And what makes it special is all of you, our Changemakers. You are truly an inspiration of our nation. Continue to shine, believe in yourselves, and never give up. We will finish today with all recipients of the 2021 Australian Olympic Changemaker program. On behalf of the Australian Olympic Committee, I'm Brooke Hanson. Thank you for joining us and thank you for powering the change.